In this video, which is one of the videos in the series of the Ultimate Guide to Google Drive Sharing, I'm going to show you and explain to you the difference between public sharing and private sharing of your Google Drive content. I'm going to show you from the perspective of Google Docs as well as Google Drive folders. But before I get started, please, if you like this content, please hit the like button. If you have a question, hit the comment button. Ask me any question on these videos. I will answer your questions. Often I'll create a new video or I'll point you to a video to help you because my goal is to help you. If you find this useful in any way, please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you get all notifications because I have a lot more content coming in this Ultimate Guide to Google Drive Sharing that could be very helpful for you. So let's get started. I'm going to start with Docs. Okay, so here's a Google Doc, and this applies to Google Sheets, Slides, Google Forms, etc., etc. I can share this publicly or privately. So if I click on it, get to the share button however you want, click on it and go up here, hover over it and go over here, right click on it and go to share. And when you go to share, you click on share, these are your options. People with access is what I refer to as privately sharing. General access is what I refer to as publicly sharing. When you privately share people with access, you can see that by default I'm the owner, so I have access to it. I can go up here and share this with Teddy Burris at Gmail, and this is privately sharing directly with a Google account user. It has to be someone with a Google account. When I privately share it to Teddy, I have the ability to let him be a viewer, a commenter, or an editor. And furthermore, when I make the decision of what level I want to share this with him, and then I can put a message in here and say, here is the document, and any other instructions that I want to give him in the context of why I'm sharing this document directly, privately sharing to him. And by the way, when I share it with Teddy, I can also share it with other people. I can send it to Rebecca, and I can send it to Lauren. I can send it to Lee. Anybody I want to share it with, I can put a whole bunch of names in here to share it with a group of people. Again, privately shared with this group of people. And once I do that, I hit send, and that way this document will be shared with all of those individuals, and they will get that same message. That is privately sharing a Google document. Let's go back in here and let's remove all of these. And let's talk about publicly sharing. Publicly sharing a Google document, a Google Drive, a Google Sheet, a Google Doc, a Google Form, a Google Slide. Publicly sharing happens under general access. This is, the way you do that is you change this from restricted to anyone with the link. And when you change it to anyone with the link, just as you have the ability with privately sharing with people with access, you have the ability to make a decision of let them be a viewer, let them be a commenter, or let them be an editor. My recommendation, I strongly urge you to think this way, there is generally no valid reason to publicly share a document and give them editor access. Generally, there is no valid reason to publicly share a document and give them commenter permissions. Most of the time, if you're going to share a document publicly through general access, you're going to give them view permission. That would be the most likely use of this access, general access, public access. And then once you do that, you can copy the link and you hit done. And now you can send that link in an email, on a social media message. You can send it in a LinkedIn message. You can put it on a website, in a blog post, etc., etc. Publicly make that link to this document that I just shared, make it accessible to anyone who has the link. But again, I reiterate, be careful with publicly sharing content versus privately sharing content. Often it is much safer to take your Google Drive content and share it privately, people with access, versus general access, which is public. Be purposeful about making the right decision of how you share it and the right decision of what permission levels you give them. Now let's talk about sharing Google Drive folders. So in a Google Drive folder, you have the same functionality. So I can go to this Google document stuff. I can click on the share button. I have the ability to share it directly with Teddy Burris at Gmail. I can give Teddy editor permission, commenter permission, and viewer permission of that folder. When I give someone through people sharing, direct sharing, I give them editor, comment, or viewer level of a folder. I am also giving them editor, commenter, or viewer access to every document in that folder. Let me repeat that. You give somebody access to a Google folder. You're also giving them the same level of access to everything in that folder, whether it's other folders and or other documents, no matter what the type is. So be very deliberate about sharing a Google folder with someone so that you make sure that in fact is the right thing for you to do. Again, that's under people access. Additionally, when you share a folder, you have the ability to give the public general access, publicly give people, anyone with the link, the same level of access, either as a viewer, a commenter, or an editor. And when you give public access, general access, anyone with a link, access to that folder, they have the same level of access, again, to everything in that folder. I recommend that the only reason you would give somebody access to publicly access to an entire folder is if you want them to only see the documents that are in that folder. That actually is a great way to publicly share a portfolio of content. If you have a whole list of documents, you have a whole portfolio of spreadsheets or slide decks, that's a great way to make that content, if it is intended for public consumption, great way to make it accessible to the public. Share the folder, anyone with the link, as a viewer. But again, I really encourage you to be very deliberate about making decisions about sharing files or folders with individuals directly versus publicly. Make the best decision for you to be able to manage the integrity and the confidentiality of your content, as well as the security of your content. Do not overshare to do something that simply a single share to an individual as a viewer could accommodate the same results. Hey, I'm Teddy, your Google Workspace and Gmail guy. I hope this is helpful for you.